mean, if you looked at how he was in Colombia, he looked wretched. He looked dreadful. He looked as if he should go and see a doctor straight away. He laughed some of the time, but other of the time he was in a terrible state.
Now, like Harry is almost Meghan's spare. He's the heir to Meghan.
He's worse than that, actually. He's treated much worse than he was in the palace. You know, at least he had a role and people would know what he could do.
God, please, no! No!
But here, nobody was really interested in him.
Angela Levin, Prince Harry's biographer, is here. Angela, major development in the whole story of Prince Harry's book Spare, his autobiography, which we know was so vile and contained so much hatred towards his brother, his father, his sister-in-law, his stepmom. We know that. But it has been presented this week that he has thrown the royals an olive branch by not writing any new information for the paperback version of the book that will come out later this year. What do you make of it, and do you think that's what Harry is doing?
Let me put it in a language you can understand.
Well, I have heard that the book is going to be published in the autumn,
yes,
in paperback, and that there's not going to be an extra chapter.
Are you sure about that?
Now, I don't know whether that is the publisher's decision or whether that's the person who wrote it for Harry. And I just got something to read to you what he said about writing with Harry.
Okay.
He's Mo Haringa. And he said one night, I was exasperated with Prince Harry. My head was pounding. My jaw was clenched. I started to raise my voice. And he couldn't stand it. And he might have said, I'm not doing anymore. So there you have a book that is going to come out with the same things that were in the hardback.
Come on now, dog.
Now, he has earned 20 million from writing this book. It's absolutely extraordinary. And it was going to so many different countries, and they changed the name. It's got some titles now called In the Shadow or Reserve, all sorts of names like that, because they don't quite understand English version of Spare.
What? What the?
But you can say to the publisher, I really don't want it, and you can give back a bit of money, and then they don't do it. In fact, there obviously has been the question of why not doing it, because they usually do it within a year, and that hasn't happened. So this book is going to come out. It's going to hurt everybody just as much, and I think that it is terrible. It's also going to come out when the King and Queen are in Australia or about to come back.
Are you sure about that?
And Prince William is doing his Earthshot
Awards.
Earthshot
Awards.
Yes,
yeah.
Sorry.
So do you think the date, because you know Harry always does this thing where he tries to overshadow his brother.
Yeah, right.
We've seen it lots of times. Do you think this could have been a purposeful decision?
I don't think that would be the only decision, but I think if you're working out what a good day will be, both he and Meghan will try and do it on a day that affects the other family. You know, William, Charles, Camilla. They try, Catherine certainly, but she won't be doing very much for a while still.
So that was a lie.
And I think that they like to do that, and I think that's really terrible. But there's one thing in the book, and I'm very keen to see if it is still there. It didn't get much publicity because it was so awful. And this part in the book was that when he rushed in to see his grandmother, Queen Elizabeth, and she had just died. And Princess Anne said that he could go and see her, and so he did.
Okay.
And he looked at her, he lifted his face, and then he spoke about all the things about he felt about her. And I think it was so cruel to actually bring that out straight away. I mean, the respect that he should have shown his grandmother, who is supposed to have loved enormously. He had no arguments with her. It's a terrible thing to actually put into a book, so invasive. And I'm just wondering if that's come out. He's got a bit of compassion in him that you don't start talking about that. It came out within 4 months of her death. And I thought that actually it's a time when he should have kept quiet about that.
Oh, it was so revolting. So revolting.
Boy.
He betrayed the Queen, the late Queen, in so many ways, though, because he also included details of their private conversations. I'm also looking at a couple of particular areas, Angela, to see if they come out. For me, the two areas that I'm looking at are his boasting about killing 20 members of the Taliban, because, you know, he's constantly moaning about his security, right?
Yeah, right.
But the only thing that has really made him a massive security risk, Angela, and put his family at risk was that revelation in his book, which for life has now made him a target of the Taliban.
Hey, yo, what the fuck?
So I'm interested to see if that stays in. And I'm also interested to see if the admissions of illegal drug taking stay in the book. Because you know, Angela, I know you've been researching it, you've been looking into it, you've been investigating it yourself. But there remains this court case in the US. And if Donald Trump becomes president and Prince Harry publishes a book again boasting of illegal drug use, then surely that puts his ability to stay in the US under some threat.
Bruh, chill.
Yeah, absolutely. I've always felt it's very strange that he did that. I know nothing about anybody military, absolutely nothing. But I did know and do know that it's very wrong to say how many of the enemies you have killed. You're asking for trouble.
Yes, exactly.
And I wonder why he did that. It hasn't helped himself. I don't know whether that was desperate or whether he was told that he should do it by the publisher, or that the lawyer who looked through the book didn't say, look, this is dangerous, take it out. I can't think why that didn't happen. And somebody, did Meghan read it all? I mean, most people let their partner read their book. Did she not pick it up? She's quite alert about things like that. I would think. Even the ghostwriter said, look, Harry, you know, this is really pushing it. You might find that this affects your life forever.
Why?
Because they will wait to punish you back. What is it all about? I think it's very difficult, but I think there's something underneath the carpet with that. Why did he do it? Why did he listen to whoever it was? And why did they let him? I think that was cruel as well.